Now improve your English by answering an interesting question. If you want to get stronger, it's important to practice.
Hi, I'm Eric. Welcome back to Speaking Practice. If you've been watching all of the other videos in this Speaking Practice series, you must be feeling like you've gotten a lot of good experience by now. If you can understand these videos pretty well, I'm sure your English is pretty good. And that means you have worked hard and practiced a lot. But there's still a lot more to learn, and of course, there's still a lot more to practice. So, let's go. Let's get started. The previous questions sometimes have been a little surprising because they asked about topics that were unexpected, not really related to school life or education. But today's topic returns to the usual. It's talking about school life. Most university students live in an apartment or dormitory away from their families. And for most of them, this is the first time in their lives that they have had a chance to live on their own. Since it's such a big deal, I think most of you probably have thought about it. Anyway, let's take a look at the question and see what you think. Are you ready?
Speaking practice number 20. Today's question. If you have to choose between two apartments to live in next semester, one apartment being near the campus but slightly expensive, while the other is a little far from the campus but cheaper, which one do you prefer and why? This is a common kind of question, so it's good practice. Also, all the words should be easy to understand, and the situation should be easy to imagine. So get ready for the hard part, actually answering it. If you see this kind of question on the TOEFL, it's an independent speaking question. You have to explain which option you prefer, and you have only 15 seconds to prepare your answer. Then you have to speak for 45 seconds, giving details and examples, explaining your idea as clearly as possible in that time. Want to try? Today's question is a really good one to practice. Please take a look at the question and think about how you would like to answer. Then, when you're ready, let's take a look. Example answer. I would choose to live in a slightly more expensive apartment near the campus because the life of a university student is typically filled with interesting and important activities that take place on or around the school. I know that saving money should be a priority for a starving student who's struggling to pay for tuition and school materials. But if the difference in cost is only slight, then I think the more convenient choice would be better. Universities often host exhibitions, concerts, presentations, and lectures. And by attending a lot of events, I'll be able to network with other students, professors, and even professionals. And anyway, a university campus is just a safe place.
So that was the question and model answer for today. Was I correct? Have you thought about where you would like to live during university? This kind of question, more convenient or cheaper, is pretty common. I decided more convenient is better for a university student. But what do you think? I'd like to see how you respond to this kind of question. When I look at the speeches of students, there's one problem that's very common. Basically, people who can speak a foreign language can express their main idea well, but explaining something with a lot of details so the listener can imagine very clearly what you're trying to say is a little bit more difficult. In these speeches, you need to include examples and details, but many students' sentences are very general. Even if the English is good, the sentences are too vague sometimes. So, how can you make your sentences more specific, more detailed? Well, in the next part of today's presentation, we'll look into the problem and see what we can do. Let's take a look.
General ideas and detailed explanations. I began by saying that I would prefer the more expensive apartment that's near campus. Then I said this is because the campus is the center of student life. For example, there are many exhibitions, concerts, lectures, etc. Finally, I also imagined it would be a very good chance to network with professors and professionals. I started by saying my choice, giving a reason, giving some details, and giving some examples. That's how your speech should look every time. When you're able to follow this kind of pattern, you're making a really detailed explanation, and that's great. But maybe you notice that sometimes I just give a general sentence. This is not so good. In today's speech, I ended by saying a final idea that was just very general. I said, and anyway, a university campus is a safe place to hang out. This is just a general sentence, and that's a problem. It would be much better if we included some reasons, gave details, and had some examples to help the listener understand. How can we make this general sentence better? Well, if we gave a reason, we could say that the university campuses are safe because there are a lot of people you know and trust. To give a few details, we could say, such as classmates and professors. And if I were to give an example, I would mention that security guards patrol the campus, and I have to show my ID card to enter the buildings. With all this extra information, I've turned the general sentence into a detailed explanation. Speaking pattern. Look at the speech one more time, and let's see how a detailed explanation looks. You start by saying your choice, give a reason, and fill the speech with plenty of details and examples to make it all stronger. I also include the opposing idea, but this isn't necessary. It just helps me imagine the situation more clearly and usually gives me some good ideas to talk about. 45 seconds is a difficult time to manage well, so do what works best for you. Keywords. Today's topic asked if you would prefer an apartment that's expensive but convenient or cheaper but not convenient. Number 1 is starving student. This is actually an expression that doesn't really mean what it looks like. A starving student is any university student who doesn't have enough money for everything they want. Maybe they rely on their parents or a part-time job for money, and that's just not a lot of money. They have to buy school materials or textbooks, which are expensive, and after that, they just don't have much money left. Well, That's reality. Number 2 is struggling. Struggling means trying to do something but not achieving success, not doing very well. If you imagine a student who works very hard to learn the subject, and they spend a lot of time working hard, they still get a bad result on the test. This student is struggling. This student is not getting the results he wanted even though he's trying very hard. Number 3 is host. Host means a person or organization that plans an event or party, or actually holds an event or party. If you go to a party, please tell the host, "Thank you for hosting this wonderful party. It was a lot of fun." Finally, I said take place. This just means happen or occur. It's a good expression to use sometimes. Next question. Practicing is really important, so don't forget to try the next question. Here it is. Some people prefer sending text messages, while others prefer making phone calls directly. Which do you prefer and why? By now, I think you've practiced a lot, and I know it must be difficult, but even if you can't see it, I know you're getting better. You're doing a great job.
All right, so once again, we are at the end of today's presentation. Like I said, if you've been doing all the practice, watching all the previous videos, I know you must be getting better. But maybe you haven't reached the top yet. Don't worry, there are many more practice videos coming. It's going to get more and more interesting. And really, learning a foreign language is a never-ending journey. Don't worry, I'll be here to help you if you need me. Finally, I know that most of you watching these videos probably have different ideas about how to answer these questions. That's really good. Please leave a comment below. I'm sure it will start an interesting conversation and maybe help out some other learners just like you. And please don't forget to push the like button and subscribe to my channel. And don't forget to watch the next one. I'll see you next time. Thank you.